DayJa. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are talking about relationships. So the first part of relationships, getting into relationships, because you know there's so many different parts of relationships that we can really talk about, but I just want to talk about the first part, which is identifying who you actually want to date, like who you find attractive mentally, physically, all those things. So if you want to talk about the first part, the first step in relationships, then keep watching.
DayJaMona, DayJaMona, DayJaMona.
I can like crush really hard and really strong, and you know sometimes that might scare people off, like if they don't know what they want. So because I'm someone that I know what I want, like I can very quickly be like, oh yeah, I want that. But just as fast, I can be like, okay, no, I'm off of that, like I'm over it. So when you're looking around like, ooh, he could get it, then what makes you stop and be like, oh no, he can't get it no more? And with identifying that, first you have, most people I'm noticing don't really have like a type. I mean, maybe some people do, maybe just me. I don't. Like, I think, you know, dark-skinned men, light-skinned men, just different types of ethnicities. Like, I'm not just like, oh, I only date dark-skinned men, because that's not the case. So maybe that's like keeping my options open, keeping my mind open, I don't know. Or maybe that just means I'm not as picky with looks as I feel like some people might be. I don't know. Comment down below, like, do you think you have a type? Like, I know I have certain attributes that don't change, I know that. So I want somebody that's taller than me. The test for that is if I wear heels, which is usually like 3-4 inches, and you're taller than me, check, that's good. Like, all right. Someone who's on the slender, muscular side. I am in the military, so I work out. I'm kind of fit. I'm not gonna say I'm 100, six-pack and all that, but I'm on the athletic build side, so I want somebody else that is also on the athletic build side, just because that's what I like. What else? You just have to look good on the eyes to me. Like, I have this test, and I'm like, if I were to picture myself waking up to the person I'm looking at, like, I would just want to open my eyes and be like, yes, that is a fine specimen there. But what do you do if you meet somebody and they're fine, but their attitude and their persona is jacked up? Now they gotta go. On the flip side of that, what if you meet somebody that doesn't really meet your physical criteria, or you don't find them attractive, but the personality is dope as hell? Like, how do you compensate for that? Do you compensate for that? Do you just say, what do you say? Like, what do you say? Comment down below what y'all think about those two scenarios. So now let's say you meet somebody and y'all are talking, you find them attractive, conversation is cool, but then they hit you with that, it's not a good time, or I'm not ready, or I'm not into labels. Like, our generation, I'm 24, people my age, relationships are just not what they used to be. Like, most of the time, babies are coming now before marriage, and people are just hooking up, and then somehow that hooking up turns into a relationship, which might turn into a long-term, you know, boyfriend girlfriend situation, or maybe a proposal marriage. But you have people that have been in relationships 7, 8, 13 years and never been married, like, or they've been in a relationship for 6, 7 years, propose, and then that relationship just goes to crap. Like, is it the pressure? Is it really the title? Who knows? knows? Who knows? Comment down below what you think. Like, so I mean, me personally, I think it's good when somebody says, you know I'm not ready for what you're asking for, or I know that I don't want what you want. And it kind of can hurt to hear it, but I think that's better than someone just like wasting your time, because time is the only thing we never get back. So I'd rather, you know, me know what I want and you know what you don't want, and then you tell me, oh nah shawty, like we not on the same page, and then we'll just keep going from there. Like, you know, just friend zone it or whatever. And now to get away from intimate relationship and talking about friends, so it's like, how do you know when you come across somebody and you just know, oh yeah, this person seems like they'll be a dope ass person to have in my circle. They seem like they'll be a good friend. Like I've come across other women, someone recently, where I've never met the person, never really heard about the person, just knew their name, and then met them and was like, yo, like, this is a dope female. Like, this is someone that I feel like would actually be a good ass friend. Not just, you know, oh, they have these certain similarities to me or whatever, but that kind of does play a part, because they say if you want to get to know somebody, like, look at who they're friends with. So me, like, I'm a go-getter. I feel like I am very responsible. That can kind of make me seem uptight. That can kind of make me seem stuck up. And I've gotten that a lot. Like, I have RBF. I will put what that means on the screen. And really, like, I just go about my business, and sometimes I don't slow down, and I ride for my friends, I protect for my friends, and those are the people that I really worry about, and myself and my family, and that's it. So I try to attract the people that are about the same thing. Like, I don't really do ratchet, I don't really like ghetto, I don't really like being loud. I just chill, I just vibe, like, and I just go on about my life. Like, I just want to have a good time, be a good mom, travel, be in my bag, and get out of debt. Like, so how do you yourself know, okay, when you meet somebody, oh, this might be a dope person to be friends with, or that you click with? Or when do you acknowledge a vibe of who you have around you, of, yeah, this is somebody that I can have beside me and we just live our lives, you know? Like, this is a good season or a good time or whatever. Like, how do you know that you're attracting the right people around you, both relationships and platonic? Comment that answer down below. Tell me what you guys think. The last thing I want to talk about, because I don't want this video to be too long for you guys, and I'm trying to, like, you know, stay narrow into when you first start relationships. The last thing I want to kind of touch on a little bit is, what do you do when you kind of have a fear of getting to know somebody again, or letting yourself be vulnerable? So with friendships, it's really no point in being friends with somebody if you're not going to be honest with them, or if they're not going to really get to know you. Same thing with intimate relationships. Like, what are you really doing if you can't have real conversations, or if you can't get inside each other's head, or have a good time and just, you know, let your hair down and have fun and be yourself? Like, what are you really doing, you know? But when you've been in relationships, I've had friendships where, you know, you're being used and abused and all of that stuff. Like, how do you bounce back from that? How do you stay from being bitter? How do you stay from not changing who you were and how you loved and how you attracted people in your vibe originally? So for me, I myself, I just try to remember the good of what I did in, you know, a previous relationship or with a previous person, and the bad. Because a lot of times people, they always talk about the bad, but they hardly ever recognize the good, right? So yes, your relationship or your marriage or whatever, it ended because of this, and this. But then what are the things that held it together? And I think something that helps me personally to stay from being bitter is to just realize, like, if that person was meant to be in my life, they would be in my life. If that relationship was meant to last, it would have lasted. But I don't rely on that wholeheartedly, because I know that when you get into a relationship, or even when you make a friend and have a friendship, like, you have to choose to keep those relationships alive. And I feel like to a certain extent, a lot of people of our generation are kind of just like, well, it's meant to be, it'll be. And that's kind of it. Like, no effort, no communication, no nothing. And then when everything falls apart, it's just like, I don't know what happened. Like, it kind of just fell apart. But nobody cared to really examine the pieces and say, okay, let's try to put this back together. I had put on my Instagram a while back, follow me on Instagram, DayJaMona. I had put on my Instagram a while back, like, a lot of people now are confusing being pressed for effort. And I feel like that's so off. Like, if you want to be with somebody, like, you have to make that choice every single day. You have to choose them every single day. And the minute you stop choosing them, you kind of just have to let them go and let somebody else have the choice to choose them. That's the same with your friends. Like, okay, I have 2 really good friends. Actually, I have a couple good friends that they don't have any kids. And so me being a single parent, sometimes I feel like, dang, like, we can't really relate as much anymore. I have all these responsibilities and all these thoughts that go through my head on a daily basis that they really just can't understand. And I could have gotten to a point when I was just like, you know, I just need mom friends. Like, maybe I should just let these friendships go and just let them be what they are. And that's that. But instead I was like, no, you know, these people, my girls, they mean something to me. And even if we don't have as much in common as we used to, like, I'm still gonna hold on to what we have, and I'm still gonna put in effort, I'm still gonna communicate. And it's not to force it, but at the same time, it's just to make it known to them and to myself that, like, you being in my life is important, and me being in your life is important, and it makes a difference. So comment down below what y'all think about that. Comment down below how you feel about friendships and how they've really transformed, like, since we've been growing up. I hope you guys kept on track with me. I hope I didn't lose y'all. I hope that you comment some discussion down below. Let's have a conversation. Thank you so much for watching. This is just the first segment of relationships, just talking about how you connect with people, the signs of dating, the signs of when you're trying to talk to somebody, what that really means, and how you identify it, both platonic and intimate. Like, what's new? Like, how are people really getting into their relationships these days? Is everyone just sliding in the DMs? Like, does anybody date anymore? Is it just Netflix and chill? Like, I really want to know. So comment down below. Thanks again so much for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button. Also click the bell, that's the notification buttons, and every time I upload, you will get notified when I upload that new video, and then you can join the conversation, watch the video, thumbs it up, thumbs it down, whatever. If you do give me a thumbs down, please just comment down below what I could do better, because I can only go up from here. So anyways, thank you again so much for watching, and until next time, much love.